Welcome to Allies or Enemies. This time we are talking about Wingspan Asia. Our copy was provided by the publisher, but the thoughts are all our own. Designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, Wingspan Asia is the third expansion to the immensely popular Wingspan series from Stonemaier Games. This latest expansion adds a bunch of stuff, but the big ticket items are 90 new bird cards, the new and important to pronounce correctly flocking mode that adds play for 6 or 7 players, and the star of the show, the duet mode, which is a new way to play specifically with 2 players. And since we are 2 players, the duet mode is also where we're going to start by looking at how it plays.
We are going to assume that you know the base game of Wingspan already, and if you don't, there's an excellent first game walkthrough included in the box. But for duet mode, players will set up by placing their black or white duet markers on each bird space on their board. Throughout the game, anytime you play a bird to a space that has one of these markers, you can place that marker on the duet map based on the region and the attributes of the bird you played. So if you played a bird that eats fish in the wetlands region, you could place your marker on the fish/wetlands space on the duet board. The duet board will come into play in a few ways. First, it can provide immediate bonuses depending on where you play your token. Second, all of the end round goals will be tied to your token placements on the board. And finally, at the end of the game, you will gain points for your largest contiguous group of tokens. The game otherwise plays the same as the base game, and after 4 rounds you add up points from birds, tucked cards, food, eggs, round bonuses, and your duet token group bonus, and the greatest bird watcher is named.
The big news here is that Wingspan Asia comes with everything you need for a 2-player game right out of the box, and it all matches the quality we've come to expect from the series. The new bird cards are all incredibly well illustrated, and with a stack of 90, it falls right in the middle of the other 2 expansions in terms of quantity. The new dark red eggs are gorgeous. The player boards are double-sided, making them playable with either Oceania or the base game, and they feature newer, slicker art for the base game. And the dice and food all do their job. This one comes with a bird feeder board instead of the iconic bird feeder, however, which makes sense, but it does mean if you want the 3D fun, you'll need the original. We also really like the new duet tokens, which if pushed together make a perfect yin and yang symbol, but it kind of feels too bad that there can only be 1 token on each space of the duet board, so you'll never get the satisfaction of squishing them into a circle in an actual game.
Player count is at the heart of this expansion. The duet mode does a pretty good job of adding just a smidge more depth to the head-to-head game. The changes aren't huge, but you will find yourself making bird choices based on the shared board, especially later in the game when you're trying to connect all of your groups of tokens. And the round scoring system changes to all or nothing, which makes a big impact. In the base game, we seem to always end up with a 2 or 3 point swing at most due to getting points for being second, while the swings here tend to be a lot more meaningful. The other big change is the addition of the 6 and 7 player flocking mode. We haven't had a chance to actually use this mode, and it is important to note the players would need the base game in order to play it, but it seems like a nice little bonus for family functions or big groups. There's also a solo game that works much the same way as the base game, but with a few little tweaks for the duet mode, with the players going head-to-head against a deck of Atoma cards. It's a much-loved system that works just as well here as it has throughout the series.
If you are looking at Wingspan Asia as a standalone game, it is a nice entry point into the series for 2 players. The 2-player experience has been tweaked to make it more interesting, and the cards are slightly more interactive in a good way, and it comes in at a cheaper price point. The downsides to this is you don't get the cool dice tower or the joy of using multicolored eggs. As an expansion, it is a bit more mixed. We put this new expansion right between the other 2. Oceania is still the must-have of the bunch, and playing again on the base game boards is a good reminder of how much better the rebalanced Nectar boards are. But we will probably play most of our two-player games from now on in duet mode, and the new cards feel a lot more positively interactive than the other two expansions, with some of them also offering some interesting push-your-luck powers. If you primarily play Wingspan at 2 players, this is worth a look, or if you want to expand your games to play with larger groups. But if you primarily play at 3 to 5, this is mostly just a big deck of an ever-expanding stack of cards, so you'll need to ask yourself how much those new bird cards are worth to you. Either way, we would recommend it as the one to buy right after you pick up Oceania. Now let's cross our fingers that the next expansion is dinosaurs.
And that is it. Have you played Wingspan Asia? What did you think? And what is your favorite Wingspan expansion so far? Let us know in the comments. And also, please like and subscribe. And hopefully we'll see you all next time for another game.